Hey guys, welcome to another week here at the beginner's course, and today we're going to go a little bit further on the butterfly guard. So super simple, we're going to do the arm drag today. So starting off in the same position as we did last week, I'm going to be having my feet in between Christian's thighs here, okay? So nice and easy. And what you're going to notice is your opponent always has a leading side. Usually they're going to be attempting a lot with their right arm to try to grip and hold on to things, right? Sometimes they're going to be gripping a little bit lower with this other hand. So what I'm trying to think about now is catching this top hand here, okay? So a little bit before he starts gripping, so what I'm looking for is either a sleeve grip or just a wrist grip here. Same side, same arm, grabbing his wrist, right? My other hand here is gonna go for a kind of like an underhook, but I'm just cupping the back of his tricep here, okay? So the effect that I want to get on his arm is trying to bring his elbow forward, okay? So this is what creates a really nice arm drag. So now it's hard for him to bring his arm back here, okay? I feel like if his arm is straight, now it's much easier for him to pull it out and there's nothing hooking him and stopping him, okay? So on the same side here, I'm gonna bring this leg out. Sorry. So I'm gonna bring this leg out to the side so I can move myself to that same side here, okay? So often you will use this hand on the floor here, but again, to have more control, you should still keep holding this arm. So try to use the momentum with this leg to slide to the side here, okay? What you'll notice is when I move out, so I was in front of him, I'm moving so that he's falling where I used to be, okay? So here, I still want to be tight on this arm here, okay? So watch how I pull his arm under my arm here, like this, here, and now I'm trying to bring it to the floor, okay? So from this position, I really want to put my weight, and I'm going to put the side of my face here on top of his shoulder blades, okay? Often, you're looking up like this, and there's nothing stopping him from coming back up with his shoulder, right? So I want to be heavy here, and I really want to glue my face on his shoulder here, okay? So now, if he tries to pull away, I can kind of follow a little bit more, okay? So looking at the legs here again, super nice and easy. I got the wrist, and I came here, okay? So watch how one of my legs is on the inside here, okay? The other one is on the outside, and this one is going to be acting kind of like as a starting or ignition to start the movement in towards Christian here, okay? So my other arm, my free arm, is going to go around his thigh as tight as I can go, okay? So I want to go really deep with this arm so I can almost touch my fingers here, right? But I'm still controlling his arm on this side, okay? So coming here, now I'm going to push with this leg and come up towards Christian. So nice and easy, I'm just going to tilt him over, and most likely he's going to want to sit back, right? Because if he doesn't, he's going to give me his back. So it's quite simple. That way, he doesn't want me to get a really good position on him, so most likely he's going to give me the sweep. Grab the wrist, get the arm, so really hook so that you almost see his elbow here. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring my foot out and pull him to me, okay? Get that arm behind his thigh, push him over. Nice, easy, you have a sweep, okay? Once you have done that, you could do it every other time with your partner. It's a super nice drill just to keep going. And of course, it's nice to alternate between the sides, right? So you want to go left side, right side, left side, right side. So grab the wrist, underhook, pull here, and come up, okay? Nice and easy sweep. Hope you guys like it, and we'll go a little bit further. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here, and what we're gonna do now is go for the back take. So this is kind of like when your opponent is a little bit stubborn and they want to stay there in the turtle position, okay? So doing the same side here, Christian goes this way, and I also have a little bit of a alternate route for your arms here as well, right? So there's a different kind of scenario you could do with your arm drag here. So I try to do both depending on the situation, but you can pull this arm like this, like we did before. This is a classic one, right? But you could also choose to push it to his hips, okay? So a lot of the times this doesn't give him the possibility to post his hand on the floor here, right? So now he's kind of trapped in between my legs. Most of the time he will get it back and then post on the floor. But in that time, I'm kind of already glued to his back. So you could choose between those two. So here, what I'm gonna do now, so I already have the first hook here basically, okay? Now, I'm gonna try to glue myself tight to his hips. So I'm gonna take my hand and grab the fabric on the side of his hips here, on the other side, okay? So I wanna bring myself up, and to do that, I'm gonna post with this hand on the floor here now, okay? It depends a little bit on the situation with his elbow. Like now, he's on his elbow, this is perfect, right? If he's on his hand, it's quite far way up, right? So just so you guys see a little bit. So if he's posting on his hand here, I want to bring him down first, okay? So what I like to do is cup his bicep, turn, and bring him down here. So now the road up here is much shorter, okay? So this is something I will experience on later on as well. But considering that we're coming from the arm drag here, he's already low, right? So here, I'm gonna grab and post my hand on the floor here, okay? So I'm gonna throw myself over, and if I can, straight away, go for the second hook here, okay? So this is gonna be a little bit of a more beginner kind of friendly guide here, right? So I got the grip on the pants on the other side here, okay? So I'm gonna bring myself up, post my hand on the floor, come up like this, okay? So now, if I can, I'm just gonna throw in the second hook here, okay? Most likely, there's always gonna be a little fight here, right? And you could always look out for what the details here are. Like, his elbow is on the inside of his knee. So now, to get access for the hook, I would always come from above and chop in, right? If it's the opposite, it's a little bit different because now his arm is in the way. So now I wanna kick and then chop in, right? So you have to consider this a little bit when you're going over. So here, I can get that hook, right? So from here, I always like to go straight for the seat belt, preferably always to catch the opposite arm, okay? So I'm here, like this. If I'm doing it to the opposite side, where I'm already dominant with my first hook, most likely he can slide me off and I'm gonna lose the back, right? Pretty easy, right? But if I can control diagonally, this is perfect, okay? So get the hook, get the seat belt, and we're good. So we're gonna start one more time here. Arm drag, like before. I grab his pants, put my hand on the floor here. And I have the back. One more time. Boom. Right. And the beauty of this is your opponent is posting, or most likely posting on the floor here. Okay, and that leaves his neck pretty available, so you can start going for a choke pretty fast there, and then likely he will put his hands on his neck, and then you can easily sweep him to either side, right? Yes, hope you guys liked it. Please make sure to like and subscribe. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hey guys, welcome to another beginner's class here. This week we're gonna go a little bit further into the butterfly guard, and we're gonna start off with a basic arm drag. So from there we're gonna set up 2 variations, and yeah, let's go. So starting off nice and easy, I'm gonna be on this side, Christian on that side. And like we did before, watch how my leg placement, so that I'm pushing both of my feet on the inside of Christian's thighs here, okay? So most likely you'll see some kind of dominant arm from Christian's side, right? So there's always going to be one arm he's really confident about bringing forward, and one arm he's kind of like going a little bit lower on my legs or grabbing my knee or however it is, right? But what I'm looking for now is I'm looking to grab his wrist here on this arm that's really far forward, okay? So I'm grabbing his wrist, same side, same arm here, nice and easy. And now I'm going to bring this other hand under, and I'm going to grab the back of his tricep here, okay? So you could go a little bit high, you could go a little bit low, depending on what you like, but what I'm trying to do is rotate his elbow to me, okay? So what I don't like is when he stretches his arm out. So when I pull, he kind of can just pull back as well, right? But as soon as I have this bent, like kind of hook reaction here of his arm here, so now if he tries to pull, it's much harder, right? I can hang on quite well here, okay? So now I want to pull him over to my opposite side here, okay? So diagonally across my body, and at the same time, I'm gonna move this leg on the same side out, okay? So what you're gonna see is some people like to post their hand on the floor like this, and then pull themselves to the side here. It's a little bit of a bad habit, because what you want full control over this arm, and you want to use your leg and your hips to move out to the side here, okay? So when going here, you're going to use your leg to do that same action, the motion to slide to the side here, okay? So watch how I was in front of Christian here, right? But I'm moving myself to the side so that he can fall down where I used to be, okay? So this is perfect, right? Now his elbow is on the floor. I can now start to get tight here and hold him down, okay? But what I mean is I'm still holding onto his arm here, but I'm gluing the side of my face onto his shoulder blade here, okay? So what I want to prevent is for him to come up with his arm again, okay? So he's down here. I pulled it down. I want to stay stuck here, okay? So if he tries to pull out again, I'm holding on as hard as I can, okay? So one more time from the side. Woo. So I got the arm and I came here, okay? So now watch how I have one leg on the outside and one leg on the inside, okay? So now what I'm looking to do is to catch his thigh here with my other arm, okay? So I want to go as deep as possible around his thigh and really almost, if you can, go for like a cradle position where your hands are almost meeting at the middle. Of course, I can't do this with Christian especially, but here I'm getting really tight, and now I want to push him over to this side here. Ooh. So watch how I'm using this back leg to launch myself forward like this, okay? So now tilting him over, most likely he's gonna give me the sweep, right? Or else he might give me his back. And yeah, considering if your opponent is a little bit more experienced, he knows that that's a better option. So same thing from the beginning here, grabbing the wrist, going for the arm. Watch how I turn his elbow towards me, a step out, and here we go, okay? Get tight around his thigh. I'm gonna push forward, right? Really use this leg to create power here. Boom. And tip him over. Nice and easy, okay? So, one more time here. Boom. One more. This way. Oops. Okay, thank you guys for watching. We'll go a little bit further. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here with the arm drag. So starting off with the same kind of position, but this time I'm gonna show you a little bit of a variation to the arm drag here. So I like to do both. It's like sometimes I like to do this, sometimes I go for the other one, but it's kind of the same concept anyways, right? So when I do the arm drag, the classical arm drag is when I pull his arm to the side here. And watch how I brought it beside my hip here so I can nicely come up towards his back, okay? A different kind of arm drag is when you push his wrist back, but you bring his shoulder forward, right? It's kind of like the same effect, but what you're gonna notice now is he doesn't have this arm to post yet, okay? So by pushing and pulling here, he's gonna go a little bit lower this time. Most likely, what's gonna happen, he's gonna bring this hand in, and then he can post it and then come a little bit higher, right? But this buys me a little bit of time, depending on what you like, right? So you can always experiment on the both of them. So now I'm gonna go for Christian's back here, okay? And what I'm looking for is still being tight onto his back, right? And just so you guys understand the concept, right? Watch how his elbow is on the mat now. So it's a really short route up towards his hips here, okay? If his hand was on the floor, suddenly he's much taller and it's much further for me to come up to his hips. So I always want to make sure to get his elbow down. So now in the arm drag position, his elbow is already down, most likely. If not, what I'm looking to do is always grab his elbow, bring it down to the floor, and there we go. He's a little bit lower now, okay? So coming from this position here, I already have my first hook here, on the inside, okay? So I'm looking for my second hook now. And what I'm gonna do with this free hand is I'm gonna grab his hip bone on the other side here. So I'm really cupping his hip on the other side. And now I'm gonna try to bring myself up, okay? So when I do so, I'm gonna post my hand on the floor here. So this hand goes to the floor and I can come up, okay? So now, just show on the other side. So now, when I'm up here, okay? So I'm looking to throw my leg inside, okay? So if this happens like this, that's perfect, okay? But most likely it's gonna be a little bit of fight. You have to kind of like watch how he's turtling up, if his elbow is on the inside of his knee or if his elbow is on the outside of his knee, right? Depending on that, you can kind of see how your leg has to chop down, okay? So now that his elbow is inside, watch how my heel can kind of like always enter from top, okay? And go down. At the same time, what I'm looking to do as I got the hook is going for a seat belt here, okay? Always try to get the diagonal connection here, right? So I have a dominant hook on this side where I am, but I want to get a good grip around this shoulder here on the other side. So this is gonna give me a nice control, right? If I go for the opposite and I try to control this shoulder on the same side, most likely I'm gonna fall off his back and he can get into like a top position again, right? So here, I throw my leg over, I got the first hook, and straight away, I'm gonna stay tight here, okay? So now, watch how both of his arms are on the floor. This gives me a little bit of a possibility to go for chokes and set up some more stuff, okay? So we're gonna do the whole movement here. Oh. Okay? So. Ooh. So it's a nice and easy technique, especially when your opponent isn't like sitting back and moving into like a guard position and giving you the sweep, right? So you have to kind of see whether or not your opponent is stubborn and wants to stay there in the turtle position, okay? If not, you have a free sweep there. It's nice, super nice and easy. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and as always, like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Oos.